you were joining from. Thank you so much for joining today's Intro to commonsku Shop session. My name is Bre. I am going to be taking you on a tour of the different commonsku shops. We'll be talking about some use cases for each shop type, and we'll be exploring both the front end and the back end of your shops. So not only what your client sees, but we'll also talk about how you can make those customizations, and then of course, how you can process your orders. So just to get started here, if you are interested in creating a shop, the first place you're going to have to go to is the commonsku Shops tab. And there is a little Create Shop button in the top right-hand corner. As soon as you click that, it's going to give you your options. So the 3 different shop types that you can be making, these are what we are going to explore today. So let's start at the beginning with a marketing shop. So as it sounds, marketing shops are meant for marketing purposes, but there are also some unique ways that you can use these shops. So for example, some teams have created marketing shops to sell already branded items or even to do co-branded items where the shopper is uploading their artwork for that co-branding. Now, each order placed through a marketing shop is going to create its own sales order inside of commonsku. And because you might be sending this to prospects, so people you've never done orders with before, you can also use these shops to create clients inside of commonsku. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we go to processing the order, but let's take a look at what a marketing shop looks like. We're going to begin with that client-facing view. So here is my springtime marketing shop. The first thing that we're seeing when we open a shop is called the splash screen. This is a great place to put important information that you want to communicate to the shopper. Very common with marketing shops, just to mention that you offer further customization. So if your shoppers see something that they're interested in, but they want to know a little bit more, they can reach out to you. Now, as a point of contact, you can actually designate what we call a shop contact. Their name and their email address would be displayed here. That shop contact doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who's part of your team. Depending on the reason for your creating a shop, this might even be a third party. So it could be somebody else's contact information that's here, whatever you need. Now, once we click to start shopping, we are taken to the featured theme. This is one of the design options that you can use. We'll be looking at all of them today, but the featured theme is very common for the marketing shop because it allows you to put featured products. These are items you want to draw your client's attention to. Now, if we go to the Shop Now button, I'm going to give that a click, and it opens the different products that we've made available. Very similar to presentations, you can actually use titles. This allows the shoppers just to organize the products that they're seeing. In this case, I've kept it with 3 nice and easy categories so they can narrow down those results. Now, when they hover over the items, they'll see some brief detail, and they can click in for that full product information. Now, just like the presentations, you can upload multiple images. In this case, I'm showcasing everything that comes inside of this package. You can also use this to show multiple images if there are different colors. So for example, if this was an apparel piece. Now, when we're looking at the pricing, usually we are going to sell items that include artwork charges. So I've already worked artwork into this price point. It's up to you how you would like to do that though. You can always add the artwork later on. Now, I want to highlight here that the minimum quantity I'm enforcing is 10. So when somebody goes to actually add this product to their shop, it does let them know that they need a minimum of 10. They can't order anything less than that. So you are controlling the quantities that come through. Now, this also gives the shopper the opportunity to upload their artwork. I know this is an intro webinar, but I wanted to add a little bit of a hack in this area. When I added the artwork details, I actually made it nice and clear that I want them to upload vector images. That just helps ensure you're getting the artwork that you're going to have to use on the product. So that is a little bit of a cheat. For those of you who have seen shops before, this might be something new. Now from here, the shopper is going to click to upload their artwork. So I'm just going to add any logo here just to highlight, although I am nudging them to upload vector images, they can really upload whatever they want. I do just like putting that wording there though, just to ensure you get what you need. Now this has 2 decoration locations on it, so they can upload multiple images. When they go to continue uploading, they can select from the artwork they've already used, or they can upload something else. Now they can either check out or they can keep shopping. In my case, I'm going to continue shopping, and maybe I'm going to add some of the drinkware here as well. So let's select this product. Now with this item, I did add a price label. The price label goes right above the price point. These are also available on your presentations. I'm just making it nice and clear to the client that this pricing does include that one color imprint. We can also see that clear setup cost. Now I'm going to go to add this product in. This time I get to choose my color, still enforcing that minimum quantity. We're going to upload that final artwork here. And then once we're ready, we are going to click to check out. Now, the checkout screen is asking for the company name as well as the billing and shipping information. Your shopper is able to fill out this info nice and quick. If it's billing and shipping to the same address, they've got that little radio they can select. And then if we're looking at the totals over here, I want to highlight that marketing shops are showing the product total, but this does not include shipping or taxes. So when shoppers are placing orders through a marketing shop, it is simply creating a sales order inside commonsku that does not include shipping or taxes. Because those additional charges are not included, there are also no credit card payments available through marketing shops. So this is the only commonsku shop that does not offer credit card payments. That is just something important to keep in mind if you are going to use this. That ensures that when you get the order, you can add the cost that you need and then send it out to your client. Now, once they enter their details and they submit their order, they are going to get a little checkout message. This is a good place to put any additional information you want to communicate. In my case, I am thanking them for their order and letting them know that somebody will be in contact. Now, once an order is placed, the shop contact, so that's the person that we listed on the splash screen, the order rep, and even the shopper are going to get email notifications just confirming that order has come through. So if you're the order rep, you'll get a notification that something was placed. You can pop in and start processing the order. Before we look at processing the order, I now want to talk about the back end of the shop. So when you create a marketing shop, the first place it's going to take you is the settings. This is just where you can get all of those parameters locked in, such as assigning the order rep as well as that shop contact. This is also where we can add our splash screen and then that final checkout message. Best practice is to use these areas to put important information you want to communicate to your shoppers. From there, we can click into the Products tab. You can add products here, and it is the exact same as adding items to your presentation. The only difference, and this is a really important one, is that the Sage integration is not available through commonsku shops. You can use every other database, but Sage products are not able to be added in here. If you are a Sage user and you're not using ASP, not to worry, you can still source through Distributor Central as well as supplier collections. Once your products are added in, you can then edit the items. This is very similar to editing the items on the presentations. The only difference might be if you don't add artwork charges to your presentations. So I'm definitely going to make sure to add the artwork into the shop, especially if I want the shopper to be able to upload their images. Last thing is just adding those titles. This is the same as adding the titles to the presentations, makes it nice and easy for them to see their products. We're then going to move into the design tab. So this is where we get to decide the layout. Now, I'd mentioned that this is the featured theme. There are two other themes you can choose from. We're going to look at these as we explore the pop-up shop and the company shop. You also have different styles that you can list your products in. With this shop, we looked at a tile style where everything was a bit more free form. You can also use a grid style. Grid style is perfect if you don't have time to really customize the product images. We'll take a look at the grid option on the next two shops. We're then choosing our accent color. That's the color that the text is going to appear here. That's also the color of our little Shop Now button. This Shop Now button by default will say Browse All Products. You can customize the text that is there as well. Two more things that we can do in this area. One is we could actually add a shop title. Now, in my case, when I uploaded the artwork to this theme, I actually added a title into that artwork. That's what the Springtime collection is saying. So I didn't need to use that shop title. That is another option you can have in this area, though. I'll demonstrate what that looks like in some of our other shops. Now, another customization you can make, and a lot of teams miss this, is actually this text or image that's in the top left-hand corner. I've just chosen to call this our intro to commonsku shops in the spirit of the webinar, but you can actually click here. You can customize the text or you can insert an image. So that could be your client's logo if this was a branded shop. Now, finally, we're going to go into the orders. So with the marketing shop, there is a chance that you don't know the person who's placing the order. What the system does is it first adds them to an area called the checkouts. This is showing me all of the orders that were placed. I can then decide what I want to do with them. So if I click into one of the lines here, it's going to tell me the details they entered in the shop, and it's going to say, hey, this is the customer that it matches inside commonsku. If I want to keep it in that existing account, I can just click to assign. Now, other times you're going to have brand new people who are placing those orders, like Jill's Flowers, for example. If we click into this one, that client info is not recognized. Now, she actually might be with a client I already have. In that case, I can add her to that account, or I can also just create a new client from this area that will create a new client inside commonsku. Now, once you've either created the client or assigned the order, it's going to move the checkout to the orders tab because we're now working at the order stage. From there, you can click in, and now this is just processing a sales order as normal. If we go into the sales order tab, we would now want to add some additional information, just getting things like the tax or perhaps any shipping charges we want to include. And now, depending on your process, you might send this out for client approval as normal. We want them to approve the sales order. Some teams also just create an invoice straight away. They might send them an invoice with credit card payment on there. You can also just use this as a bit of an opportunity to upsell. So, hey, I noticed that you ordered these couple things for the shop. You know what goes really good with this water bottle? Here's another product you might want to check out. So it doesn't necessarily have to end with them placing their shop order. You can decide what you would like to do next. All right, so that is the marketing shop. The next shop type that we're going to explore is called the pop-up shop. So that's what we've got right here. Now, just beginning with the client-facing pop-up shop, I've got this splash screen on here again, so communicating important information. Now, some important detail that I'm mentioning here is actually a coupon code. So pop-up shops offer coupon codes. This allows the shopper to use a coupon when they're checking out. In this case, I am going to give them 2 items for free. So I'm just going to make sure to copy that coupon code because we'll take a look at using it afterwards. I've also mentioned that there is going to be a shipping charge. You have the option to add shipping charges to your pop-up shop orders. We'll explore that when we take a look at the settings. Now, actually, before we dive into the settings, I'm so sorry. I just realized that I kind of skipped what the pop-up shops are created for. So let's start with covering that. Pop-up shops are usually created for a specific client. You can also create pop-up shops for yourself, though. So if you're selling branded merchandise, you might make a pop-up shop to actually sell that. Now, the unique things about pop-ups is that it actually allows multiple shoppers to come into the shop and place their orders. You can then combine those shop orders into one sales order in commonsku. So that's one sales order, maybe for your client to approve, maybe for your client to pay. It also means bulk POs for your suppliers. So I can have 1,000 people come in here and place an order through a pop-up shop. I'm going to combine that into one sales order for the client and then bulk POs for the suppliers, so it's easy for everyone to process. Now, I do want to give a bit of a spoiler alert. Pop-up shops do allow credit card checkouts. So although I'm allowing them to have the 2 items for free, I am going to give them the option to purchase some additional items through credit card. So even though there's so many things you can do with pop-up shops, we're going to narrow down to the specific use case. But I would really say you can use your imagination when you're exploring the shop type. There is just so much you can do with it. All right, so let's click into Start Shopping. We can now jump over here. This is the split theme that we're seeing. So a little bit different than what we saw before. We no longer have those featured products. Instead, we've got our main image here, and then that is just split. We're going to click the Shop Now button. They can go in and see those different items. Now, before I begin showing you the feature of the shop, I do just want to give a quick shout out to SNS. They created all the virtuals that we're going to be looking at. So thank you so much, SNS, for saving me that time. A bit of a tip for everybody, a really great way to save time making virtuals is just to ask the supplier to do it for you. So that's what they've done in this scenario. They took care of all the branding. So looking at some unique things about this shop. I still have that product title. This time, I'm not using the title to categorize the items. I'm just reminding them that they have a coupon code. So you can also just put a single title in here. In this case, just giving them that reminder. Now, pop-up shops have a unique retail price. This is a single price point that you are showing to the shopper. So when we click in and actually go to order this item, you're going to notice that I can order one, I can order 100. When we are working in pop-up shops, that price point isn't changing. So it's a flat rate that we are going to charge the shopper no matter what they are purchasing. Now, what's unique about that is that the flat rate I'm charging the shopper might be different than what I'm charging the client. So in fact, your client can use pop-up shops to make a little bit of a profit on the products they're selling as well. They're buying it from you at one price point, you're then selling it to their end shoppers at another. So it's a very unique feature. All right, so I'm going to add in this product. Once we get that added, we're going to keep shopping. Maybe we'll add in, let's go with the fanny pack as well. I do love these. And now when we get to checkout, we're taken to that checkout screen. On the right-hand side, the shopper now has that option to enter their coupon code. So I'm just going to paste the coupon code here. Once I click to apply, it's taking off, in my case, the $40. So I'm giving them those 2 free items. That is a $40 value. I've still got the shipping charge in there as well. They can still make that payment through credit card. On the left-hand side, we're capturing the shopper's information. The default fields that appear here are their name, email, and the comment field. These other things that I've added are actually custom questions. So with pop-up shops, you can create custom questions that allows you to capture additional detail from the shopper. In this case, I want to get their address because we're going to be shipping these products to them. Now, once they make their payment, they are going to see that checkout message again. So just communicating any of the important detail. And now that we've placed the order, let's take a look at the back end of the pop-up shop. Now, when we are in the back end of the pop-up shop, we are going to start in the settings area. Again, the first things that you want to lock in are going to be the shop contact as well as the order rep. We've added that splash screen to put important detail, and I've also included a shipping charge on this shop. Now, the shipping charge works as a range. If they are purchasing between X and X value, then we are going to charge them this much. You can continue to add ranges if you just kind of have different tiers based on how you're doing that pricing. If we scroll a little bit further, we're then going to add the checkout details, really fun things like tax. This is also where we can add the credit card checkout. Now, pop-up shops do offer a checkout limit. This gives a maximum spend amount. So that can be really helpful if you've created a pop-up shop where maybe an employee is getting a uniform and your client is footing the bill. They might want to set a maximum limit of what that employee is able to spend. We've then added those checkout questions. So these are custom questions. I've just made them look like they are address capture fields. We've got the checkout message, and then finally the coupons. Now, I only added 1 coupon to my shop. You can add up to 10 coupons though. If we go into products, this is very similar to what we saw on marketing shops. The only difference with the pop-up shop is that when you're editing these products, you are able to add that unique retail price. So I mentioned the retail price that you're charging your shopper might be different than what you're charging your client. That allows your client to make a profit off what you are selling here. Now, going into the design, we've chosen the split theme for this one. We also did lay this out with the grid style. So the grid style just gave us those different little square images. If we just take a look at this, that really saves time if I don't want to edit the images and make them look all nice and perfect. I can pop it into the grid and it sizes that for me. Now, final stop is going to be the orders. So as the shoppers are creating their different checkouts, as we call them, they are going to tier into this checkouts tab. Now, I have 2 checkouts in here. You can have 2,000 checkouts in here. So you can have as many as you need depending on how big this shop is. If you want to view detail about the checkouts, you can actually just select them and you can view them through here. So this is going to show you the information of who ordered what, as well as their different answers to those custom questions. Now, if you want a copy of the shopper's receipt, you can actually click on this blue reference field. That is going to show you the receipt that they would have received when they placed the order. It's very common to actually print these up. So if you want to use them as packing slips, you can print up each receipt. It just makes it that much more personalized when your shopper receives their items. Now, ultimately, we are going to take these checkouts and we are going to combine them into a sales order. To do that, we are just selecting the checkouts. You can add to an existing order here, or you can create a brand new project. Once you've made the order, we can pop into the Orders tab, and this is where you'll access it. Just going over to that sales order, it's kind of like a standard sales order, except we've now got this checkouts tab. So this is where we can still see the detail of who ordered what. You can still export that CSV file as well. It might be something that you actually want to send your client in case they are handing things out personally. All right, so that is a pop-up shop. There is so much that you are able to do with it. So again, your imagination's the limit with that one. Let's look at our final shop type that is going over to the company shop. So company shops are also created for a specific client. These are really great for HR departments or franchises or even service locations that are placing orders on behalf of their employees. Each order placed through a company shop makes its own sales order inside of commonsku. We're going to explore in a little bit more detail when we look at the shop settings, because there's quite a few things you can do with these, but let's just take a look at that client-facing shop. So with this one, I do want to highlight that I don't have a splash screen. So instead, I've used the billboard theme, and I've actually just added images to that billboard theme that makes it easy for me to communicate the information. So a splash screen isn't mandatory. You don't have to have it. If you want to put detail in that actual billboard image itself, that is also an option. Now, once they click to shop, because I didn't give them information in the splash screen, I've actually created a custom product with billing and shipping details. If we click into that custom product, I'm just making it really clear for them how the billing is going to work. You can add credit card payments to company shops, but in my case, I'm just going to turn this into a normal order submission. So I am then letting them know that it's going to be invoiced within these business days. Because I am not taking credit card payment through here, I'm also letting them know that it's their final invoice that's going to include tax as well as shipping. Now, going into the company shop, we've still got those titles so they can filter the products that are available. One more shout out to S&S. Thank you so much for these branded items. When they are going in to actually order the products, company shops do enforce minimum quantities. In this case, that minimum is 25. So when they go to add the item, they can't add anything less than 25. That's what they're going to have to meet. From there, they can keep shopping, or we are going to go to the checkout tab. Now, the checkout screen in company shops gives you a lot of control because sometimes anybody can come in here and place an order. Your client might be okay with that. Sometimes they have particular people that are coming in here. So for example, maybe only service location managers are supposed to place orders. Well, for that reason, when we start looking at the billing and shipping details, you do have the option to actually predefine these contacts as well as these addresses. So in this example, I've given them a dropdown with those options. You can also make it a dropdown and a text field or just a text field. So you can really do that however you like. I just wanted to show you all 4 options here. So just to finish this up, I am going to capture the order detail. So let's just grab the shipping information in this case. So where is it shipping to? If we look at the right-hand side, I haven't added the credit card, so this does not include tax and shipping. Instead, I've asked them to submit their order. That is going to create the sales order inside commonsku. One more time, that checkout screen is showing that important information. In my case, I have just reiterated how the billing is going to work so they know how to expect that final invoice. Going to the back end of the shop, we're always starting with the settings. Some settings you might want to consider here are adding the credit card checkout. You can also add shipping to this area. We can define who is able to place orders through the shop. So again, for the billing and shipping contacts, as well as the addresses, you can make a predefined list. You can have it be an open type field. If you're allowing an open type field, you can actually take the additional step and actually add these new contacts or addresses to your commonsku client, just in case you need to use them in the future. We've got the checkout message at the bottom. Going into the products are very similar to the marketing shop. The only difference, of course, is your client would not be uploading their artwork to this area. For this one, I do want to highlight, I created that custom product to better communicate the billing and shipping details. So that is a cool way just to use custom items if there's more information you want to give them and you just feel that it doesn't fit in that splash screen. For the design, we looked at our final design, which is the billboard image. And then of course, we are going to have the orders. Now the company shops turn these into sales orders straight away. Both the shop contact and the order rep, as well as the client, are all going to get emails when these orders are placed. From there, you can click into the order. It's going to take you to your sales order as normal. I do recommend with any of your shops orders, it's a good idea just to take a look at the overview. So particularly with the company shop or with the marketing shop, they do have the option to actually add comments when they're doing their checkout. We can view those comments here. So in this case, they've actually let me know that this is a rush order. Maybe I want to process it ASAP. In addition to getting that email notification, always just click in, take a look at the comments, make sure you're seeing anything unique that that shopper has added. Now, in my case, because this was just a normal order submission, I would now add the appropriate tax and shipping to this. We could have also taken credit card payment through the shop. So your next steps are going to depend on your process. You may have taken payment up front. You may turn this into an invoice straight away, or you may go ahead with that normal order approval. So lots of flexibility there. All right, so we covered a lot, as I promised we would. The final things that I just want to cover are going to be your shop's resources. So in addition to this webinar, this has been a really great overview of what the shops offer. I do recommend digging into the resources for some more detail though. So let's take a look at where you can find those. The first resource, of course, is going to be help articles. If you click your profile icon in the top right-hand corner, you can go to our help articles. And from there, you can actually drill into the shop's help articles. There's an overview area, so shop's resources as we call it. This gives you some general details about the shop, such as how to create them, those different design options. There's then articles for each of your shop types. In addition to using the help articles, when you click to create a shop, at the very top here, it asks, are you not sure what shop is right for your client? Click here. Actually click there. It's going to open a shop's roadmap. You can answer these questions. It's just going to lead you to the best shop type based on your client's needs. Once you get to the bottom, it opens up a bunch more information. So you've got demo shops that you can test, that you can send to your client. We've got our shop's resources, as well as our different webinars. Now, of course, we have also got our Learn tab. So if you head over to the Learn tab, this is going to give you not only an overview of shops, but an overview of a whole bunch more content. I do recommend, if you haven't already seen it, you can check out the commonsku University Plus 2021 video content portal. We do have a Shops for Sales segment in there as well. Now, final thing to mention is in the Shops tab, there is also an option to book a shop talk. These are one-on-one consultations with a member of the customer success team to help talk through an opportunity that you're working on and see what commonsku shop is the best fit. Before you book a shop talk, please review those different resources. They are going to help with the basic questions. That way, during the shop talks, we can really drill one-on-one, talk about your client's needs for their online solution, and talk about how commonsku shops can meet that need. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you all hanging in there for this entire webinar. This is going to be recorded, so of course, we'll upload a copy of that recording to the community events. If you've got any questions, please just add them to the Q&A or chat panel. I'll give you another moment to do that. Either myself or another member of the customer success team is going to be able to reach out and answer anything that is in Q&A or chat. So final 30 seconds, if you've got something, add it in there. If that's not enough time, you can always reach out to us at support. We can help you through there as well. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. I know it's early, so I'm going to wish you a happy Surrogate Friday. Hope you have a happy, good weekend as well. All right, I hope to chat with you all again soon. Have a good day.